Tina Fontaine grew up here on Saging First Nation. She's also buried here. Amid the sound of drums and the smell of burning sweetgrass, it was here Manitoba's Advocate for Children and Youth released a report into the circumstances of her death, along with a statement.
Not enough has changed since Tina died in 2014.
Tina Fontaine was just 15 years old when her body was pulled from Winnipeg's Red River. She became a national symbol of violence against Indigenous women and girls. Her life started to spiral out of control with the death of her father, skipping school, drug abuse, and repeatedly running away, all while in contact with child welfare.
But she was never provided with counseling or other cultural healing, despite ongoing assessments and recommendations that this was a critical need in her life.
I don't know how many times the door closed. I said, please just help me.
The great aunt that raised Fontaine didn't speak today, but has always maintained her calls for help went largely unanswered.
Barriers to accessing the services were plenty, and overall, the service wasn't delivered to Tina.
The report makes 5 recommendations, including access to on-reserve counseling, tracking of school attendance, and secure shelter spaces for children on the street. At the time she went missing, Fontaine had been placed in a Winnipeg hotel.
Well, I think we have to be open, certainly, to all these recommendations.
Manitoba's Premier also says some improvements have already been made.
We're seeing a reduced number of children in state care. We're seeing no kids housed in motels and hotels anymore.
But there are still calls among Indigenous leaders for a full inquiry. As for this report, when asked if another Tina Fontaine could happen today,
Yes. Yes.
The fact that this report was released publicly does mark one change. Previously in Manitoba, reports into child welfare deaths used to be restricted to government. Tina Fontaine's death prompted a legislative change to allow them now to be released publicly, something the Advocate hopes leads to greater accountability and scrutiny. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Saging First Nation.